What's going on, gentlemen? It's me, Truck. Excuse me while I adjust the camera. This is the trial run of the Caddy Cam during the summer, during the day hours, I should say. Today I'm down here in one of the most famous places in Philadelphia. You know, you guys probably were first introduced to this area as a young man in the movie via the movie Rocky. This is the Italian Mart. This is where Rocky used to run early in the morning to get his exercise in, and it's changed since then. There used to be a whole lot more fruit vendors on East Side. You see where these cars are and everything. It actually used to be a whole lot of fruit vendors. And today, I brought you out here for a specific reason. It's recounting the story of my young manhood, I guess. You know, I was about 19. If you look up there where that stop sign is way up high on that pole, right? Let me see if I can squeeze that in for you. There you go. There you go. So, you know, when you see that stop sign is, you see people cross the street where that green awning is on the corner. I used to work in that place. That place used to be a big and tall man shop. And I actually, in 88, I used to work there. Um, and my job was to wash the clothes on the corner, because, people, this used to be crowded. I mean, didn't matter what day of the week it was, the Italian Mart was packed. So I used to come out and I used to help the owner's name was Jerry, but the place was called Steve's Big and Tall. So I used to go show up early in the morning, put the clothes out on the corner, and I stand there and watch them. And I was getting paid under the table because at that time I was on unemployment, and unemployment was not doing what I needed to do, my brother. It was not doing. So I had a car payment, car insurance, had to pay rent. You know what I'm saying? Buy my own food and all that stuff. So it was not doing what I needed to do. So I started working. Under the table to supplement what I was making. So the story that I wanted to talk to you guys about is uh, when I was 18 or 19, I used to work out here, and it's not really where you're from, or it's where you're at. That it used to be a part of a hip hop song back in the day. I think it was I think Eric B. and Rakim is one of their lyrics says, "Not where you're from, is where you're at," and it's true because regardless of being from the hood, the Italian Mart is a different hood, and it's a reason why it's called the Italian Mart because this is where all the mobsters used to hang around. They own most of the business. I suspect that they own most of the businesses down here in the buildings. And I suspect that everybody that has a storefront here is renting from them. And matter of fact, the guy Jerry that I used to work for, he was a Jewish guy, but he told me, I asked him, I said, Jerry, did they ever come around and ask you for protection money or anything like that? And he was like, no. Scott, he's like, my real name is Scott. Y'all know that from my other videos. But he said no. The way they do it now is he should walk me over to the front door of the establishment, and he showed me a sticker on the door. And he said, "You see that sticker?" I said, "Yeah, it's for the trash company, right?" He said, "Yeah, that's who picks up our trash." And I said, well, what's that got to do with the mob? And he said, well, down here, that sticker stays on the door no matter who occupies this place. I said, really? He said, yeah, because he found out the hard way because, he figured what they were charging him was way too high. And he called around to see if anybody else would come pick up his trash, his boxes and all that other stuff. And nobody would take him up on his offer. And he said he tried for about a week. And then next thing you know, the person from his trash company came by, and had to talk to him. And that's when he told him, he said, look, this sticker, it stays here. Nobody picks up from here except us. And basically what happened, he found out that what the mobster did, as a peace thing, they split up all the stores so everybody get a fair share. So that's how the mob did it. And when I was down here, the store that's directly across from that stop sign, uh, the guy that owned that was like the biggest mobster at the time in Philly. And I had like it's funny because I had at the time I had a Cadillac way back then. That was my first car, and I used to get here super early. I'm an early person, like being everywhere early. And man, let me tell you something. I had found a spot right in front of this place. I was like, yeah, let me get this spot. You know, instead of having to walk all the way, you know, like 2 blocks, a block and a half, or whatever, just to go to work. I said, oh, I lucked up, you know. But man, let me tell you something, man. I put my turn signal in, and he was behind me, and the owner, he was behind me, and I tried, you know, backing in the regular way, and man, every time I pulled up, he pulled right behind me. I was like, "What's this dude doing?" I'm blowing my horn, like, "What?" You know, and I'm mad, you know, but he was an old dude, so I wasn't going to, you know, go crazy on him. But he was an old dude, right? So, um, basically, I went up to the stop sign. I kept going. I found a parking space way up the street, and then by the time I come walking down the street, he's going into place, and I was like, "Oh, it was him." It was just basically this big time mobster. You know, everybody used to. I used to watch people, all the mobsters, go in there and basically, you know, handle business while he was, you know, taking care of the fruit stand and all that. So that was one of the instances down here in Italian Mart. Then the other one, was really shocked me, man. This is like 1988, 89 or whatever. Yeah, I was about 19, 20. And basically, man, I was standing on the corner with my back up against the wall, you know, just watching the crowd. I mean, you know, it's a lot of everybody, a lot of females, everything down here, man. It was just, you know, a really good time. And basically, man, I saw this real big black dude, man. He had like a fur coat on. He had all these gold things on, you know, gold chains and everything. Big ones too, nice ones too, right? And he was walking with this like little short Italian dude, right? I mean, Italian dude had to be about 5'2" tall, right? So what happened was when they were coming down the street, they were arguing. You could hear them arguing like a whole block where that real big awning is with the light underneath it, way up there across Washington Avenue, right? They were arguing like real bad, man, and they were yelling and yelling and yelling. And then, you know, the black guy, he sees me, he got louder. And, you know, the little Italian dude, little Italian dude figured out what was going on. I guess, you know, the black dude felt kind of embarrassed getting, you know, cussed out by this little dude, right? So the little Italian dude, man, reached up and slapped him in his mouth and said, "Man, don't you ever talk to me like that." I was done. I didn't laugh. I said, "Yo, this is not a situation, Scott, where you need to laugh." This is not it. So I just played the whole hard face, like, you know what I'm saying? And when the brother, you know, little Italian dude got close to me and he saw, you know, he looked at me, I just nodded my head at him. He nodded back like, "Yeah, bro, you know what's up." You know what I'm saying? I didn't lose respect for the brother. I knew where we were. You know, this is, you know, you gotta be cognizant of where you at. You know, hood is hood wherever you go. Whether it's Italian or whether it's black, it's Hispanic, whatever, hood is hood. And you have to respect that hood and respect the people in it. Because if you don't, you can get hurt real bad. Because that dude was up in the midst of everything. Matter of fact, I believe, I was trying to remember, Little Nicky Scarfo. He's a big time drug dealer. Not drug dealer, I'm sorry, mobster. And drug dealer, I guess, you know. Lived right up the street from Steve's. You know what I'm saying? So you talking about like one of the head of the mobs lived right up the street. Then the new guy was right across the street. So this area was rough, man. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take you guys for a little ride. Just a short one, you know, so y'all can play the little Rocky music in the background. You know, just to, you know, for memory, old time's sake. Remember your childhood. So here we go. Matter of fact, down here was a place on my left was actually a gun store. One of the first gun stores I used to visit. Let me see if it's still here. Nope, it's a restaurant. Yeah, and yeah, my old store I used to work at is look like it's a plant and fruit produce place. But all this area used to be packed, man. I mean, it was shoulder to shoulder walking down here uh, any day of the week, man. But now it's a lot. I see it's a lot of restaurants that replaced a lot of the fruit, butcher and produce stores. There was a lot of butchers down here too. A lot of Italian butchers, a lot of Polish butchers actually. You know, matter of fact, the smells when you walk down here smell so good because they be cooking and you know the fish market here and everything, and the restaurants. Uh, and then yeah, it was pretty cool, man. My childhood, every Saturday, pretty much, we went down here to buy the produce when I was living in West Philly, in Overbrook, and it was pretty cool, man. Yeah, it's the childhood memories, and then when I moved to Jersey, I used to always come here for clothes. You know, I could find clothes here. I could find clothes up on South Broad Street at a place called Torrey's. Then there was a place called Adams Warehouse. You know, Torrey's was the bomb, man. I'm so sad that they closed down because that's where all the Eagles play. That's where all the was the 76ers used to shop and get their clothes. You know, and they really, it was some nice stuff, and I love the gear they had. Matter of fact, a couple shirts I got. Well, the shirt I got on now was actually bought from Tories, you know. And the stuff was so high quality that I had this shirt for at least, I don't know, 5, 6 years. It ain't faded. It ain't, nothing. I guess because of the quality and how much, it costs. You know, it wasn't cheap, though. I'll tell you that much. But, yeah, here we are, Italian Mark. Come on, lady, close your door. Thank you. Man, I tell you. So this is the Italian Mark. This is Go ahead, y'all. Just run like Rocky. Go ahead, beat the air like a boxer. you know. And it's also I used to even come all the way down here when I used to live in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, just to get produce and actually poultry because it's very reasonable. There's a lot of the fruit and stuff down here comes from direct off the port, out the port. So it's real cheap and it's real extremely fresh. You know, so it's not like you're getting the stuff that was sitting in the freezer for a month or two and then they, sell it as, they run out. But this is it, man. And thanks once again, you guys, for being patient for the videos. Mother's Day kind of set me back. So I planned to come out here last Friday, but it was actually raining. But it's okay. It's cool. It's Friday again. I'll be live streaming tonight. Well, actually, you'll probably see this video after I live stream. So I guess I'll see you guys tonight, or hopefully you guys would have, enjoyed the live stream. I guess I got to talk like it was in the past, right? And yeah, so I guess I'm gonna head home up the highway, and I'll talk to you guys later.